This morning we explained about just actual three kinds of Mahamudra, which is the Mahamudra of the base, and the Mahamudra of the path, and the Mahamudra of the fruition. So it's just briefly explained. Now this time, so in order to actually practice that kind of Mahamudra, and so it explains that basically we have to purify, and in order to realize of the fruition of Mahamudra. So that's why first we must know what is the object of what to purify, and what is to be the purify, and what is the method, or through which way to purify. So actually to explain that this afternoon. Jangje chakjen dojin nanjur jangje lobru trubet manam jangde chugungun shows there's 4 lines prayer, and then first line is actually explaining of the base or the object of to purify. And so what here trying to explain is that when we talk about purifying of the obstacles or negative, which is actually to obscure to reach enlightenment, and the obscuration is not something that separate from our mind, and it doesn't mean that when we say we must purify all these defilements, it doesn't mean something externally that we have to purify or just give away or abandon. Actually, the base or to purify is our actually own mind. That means mind itself is never actually obscured, essence of mind. But that mind, but because of lack of understanding, or actually to see what is really true nature of mind, which is ignorance, and then we actually accumulate a lot of different, this karmas, and then negative emotionals and so forth. So actually we have to purify that, but these are no other than the part of mind. So actually the base of the purification is mind, which is it's mentioned in the text, inseparable of the luminosity and the emptiness, and that is really the base or object of the purification. Some people feel that mind itself must be purified. So that is actually it's wrong, because mind itself it doesn't have to purify, because essence of mind is already it's Dhammakaya, which means it's free from any obscuration. But then still, we have 5 skandhas, and then come or elements, and then we have 5 senses. All these things, which is we are clean to it, And then this clean actually comes from our different karmic patterns, and that comes from the emotionals, different emotionals, and then different emotionals, it comes from the ignorance, and the ignorance is actually means, mind actually didn't see actually essence of mind. So in short, all these comes, or souls illusion is starting from the mind. So that's why it's explaining, the base of purification is no other than mind. And so two must realize that. And that is now here known as the Mahamudra Doji Nanjur, means Vajra Yoga, great Vajra Yoga of means. So that means, as I've explained the other day, since our lineage is known as the Taupo Kaiju lineage, and so the Gampopa actually he brought two lineage together, because in the Mahamudra, and also there's two aspects of the Mahamudra. According to the Sutra Mahamudra, and then Tantra Mahamudra. And during the Sutra Mahamudra, it's same meaning. Actually, during the Sutra Mahamudra it's so-called, it doesn't call really Mahamudra. It's actually use a different name, which is called Prajna Paramita. And at that time, it's expressing more the emptiness aspect, which means yila miche sna khaingo, yila miche ba. Means no reference, Actually, mind is not referring, so just try to just stay on the nature of mind. The Sutra and Tantra way of explaining of Mahamudra, but its meaning is the same. So Gampopa, he brought these two lineage together, because he's the actually lineage holder of the Kadamba. So Kadambas with the method of the bodhicitta. So actually they're meditating on the Sutra Mahamudra, and then through this Vajrayogini practice from the Milarepa which he received, and actually this way of the Tantra Vajra Mahamudra, and then he brought two rivers bring together. Actually, it is known Kacha Choching, that means Kadamba and the Tantra Mahamudra bring together. So since we are follower of that, so we have to first initiate it properly by by proper teacher, and then after that the following of the different preliminary practice, the ordinary preliminary and the extraordinary preliminary. Then after that, and then the Shine meditation introduce. Then after that, and then introduce of the inside meditation, which is Lakton. And then through that, and try to actually recognize of we call ordinary mind, or co-emergent mind, So, which is just to try to see the nature of mind. So that is it's what really means Mahamudra Vajra Yoga. So through that, and then it purifies all the defilement. So means or method is that. Then now third one is what other should purify. So that is so-called sudden obscuration, which means why it said sudden means they actually in reality, we are free from any obscuration, but because of the lack of understanding, so we just cling to the, this external thing. We just it's a clean as the subject, and then all the consciousness object, and then all the who's cleaning, which is mental, is as the subject. So through this subject and object, and which we call dualism. So this is actually is not really the nature, because in the reality, the external appearance is the luminosity, and then whatever the consciousness, which is the nature of emptiness. But to realize, we didn't realize that. So then we take as a subject and object. So that is what we call illusion, or delusion. And so that is what we have to purify. And then that is through from body and speech and mind, we accumulate merits, and then of course mentally through the meditation, and we have to purify that. And now the fourth is the result of the purification, and that is actually free from the obscuration of the dualism, which is subject and object, and that is the Dhammakaya. And so actually, since it's prayer, so it's praying that may everybody realize of the state of Dhammakaya, which is free from the obscuration of the dualism. And so that way, here, the reason as it's just mentioning of the realization of the just Dhammakaya, because, as I've said last night, because within a Dhammakaya, all the other two kayas, Sambhoga Kaya and Nimana Kaya, is included. It cannot be separate. And so, in short, it's praying that to achieve the state of three kayas. And then after that, now the next, the 4 lines is the explaining of that in another way of Mahamudra, like view and meditation and action. So like Shila Dondo Cheba Tawe Ding, Tela Maying Kyong Gombene, Gomdungula, Sarjun Chebesho, Tagum Chebe Ding the number shows, means Shila Dondo Cheba Tawe Ding means she means ground or base. And the base, first, in order to meditate, first we must have a right view, because without right view, and then if we try to meditate or if you try to practice, practice can be also wrong direction. So that's why we must have a right view. The right view is the Dondoche means actually we must clearly understood what is really the right view, and that is the inseparable of the emptiness and the interdependent origination, which means like the appearance of external thing, we must understand how its existence, and that is through the interdependent origination. Because, like for example, when we say long, and the long is because of the short, and the short is because of the long, and like that. And even all these different solid buildings and things like that, this also, interdependent means like all these small items and then put together, and they hold and help to hold each other. So there isn't anything in existence without interdependent origination, which means independently existence. So everything is existing because of the interdependent origination. And then the nature of things we must realize is emptiness, because like there's no 카세고레 베나 ngoburangse doctor chikla 베나 탐체 njurwa 식도야 지레마도 남연 njurwa 메바지 딱걸 때마 요 말이스 뒤좀세 칸레스나 안에 코라 랑세 추바 메바 똥바 임벨 때네 때네 탐체 njur루 요레스 yeah because if there's independently existence and then it must exist forever, so there's nothing can exist forever. Like for example, when we say sky is existence forever, it doesn't change because essence of sky is non-existence, because in space. So everything, whatever existence, what we feel, it's all subject to change. It can be, next day it can change or destroy, because it's not real. Actually, the best it's proof that it's not existent independently. So now right view is to have a clear understanding of the inseparable of the emptiness and the interdependent origination, and that is the right view. Excuse me, because I try to say it in Tibetan because it's getting very hard now. Because first thing, actually, this teaching is about mind, and this is very, because some word is not there isn't any word in English, and then secondly, because of my English, and it's getting very hard. Actually, I'm sweating, So anyway. So I'll just try to that. So teni ta tawa gomba chepas teni ta gomdung kun la saljon chebe cho sungbare. Gomdung kun la saljon chebe cho sundu teta view ki tawa yan thagba tela teni mayimba ti gombe nere. Teni teta view ki gombe ki te gomba te ya hone kondu pewa po yungwa sidu teni tena takhaso wala takwa le gomchik dabu mayimba. Then talk about masna napharne po yongwe ke chirdola then khang gugu yorsana chebati gugu yores then chebati to then lunga ge gone sudum songwa thang then daga na shin ke ta chebala yang rigba turshu ge cheba singen da ta then cheba mangbu yore then chebala tene then thanda thi penata ngaran zo tindwa penata zokshen da ta then da wuji ina then chilol ndone konde russian seast sora tende tene bade tamche dandamende cheya yorwa ta pena ta tende sene ta chidange chi gi lunga gi chobal tenes sana tati yagochi sena chi lunga gi chobal tene tene ta nang ki gombe nyamnyonde kone kondu pewar cheba tela tene chobas sene sig yores akosonga ta pena 당에 만들어지나 다 투톱 된조 베드 쩨반다면 능게 요르바 어텐더 보게 다 들으산데 된데 요 말데 이네 텐델 때네 때네 따곰 쩨베 초 순티 순게 요르 대손장 된 대답이 따와 곰바 쩨바 숨티 네 태단데나 아니 자기 쳔비고 된 똑발라 강에 가야메 바 용고 요르 대손장 때네 대답이 따곰 쩨베 딩탕 담버 쇼스 심전 탐진 담버 쇼스 전 말음 좀 베레스 it's much easier. That's what basically the conduct, But then, in order to do this kind of different kinds of conduct, to actually to increase the inner realization, but then you must have some kind of first you must have some kind of realization that you can this kind of different actions or conducts can help you to increase, because there are some people have that's one thing very important, because when this thing come and then some people just say, oh, Mahamudra teaching and you can perform any kinds of actions, doesn't care, everything's can be good for the mind to develop, but it doesn't mean. But first, once you have actually non-destruction of meditation, and then with this different kinds of conduct, and then actually it makes you more faster to develop, you know. Tene ta tene chönam tamje semji namtru de semne semji ngo tong shi manga jian na de lekbar ta ne shi za chöber shos chen sumbare te sundu ta zo ta ngone ge tene gomjat sungu yores te khan sungu yoresna chönam tamje semji namtru de esdu 제단 게 되네 지난 그 추 탐제디 되네 샘기 장나래 만대버지 이송어레스 배나 조부선지 점데 그 송번한 신기 추남 탐제 샘이 된 돈베zel라랍도 네스도 추남 탐제 샘기게 장신리 배나 돈바라레기 송버레스 하고 송아 대송자 되네 다 지단 그 노르템버 되네 디름바 개버시그레 하고 송 되네 추남 탐제 샘지 남주데 추 탐제 샘기랑나 임바탕 아니 샘 코랑 랑신티 샘네 샘에 샘중오 동스데 샘 코랑티 샘 랑신 마주바 되네 샘 생에데 강야 지나 강나야 주바 매바 샘 코랑 랑중오게 동바지레스 하고 송아 이나야 동신 망가 지안나 와들 거다네 시즈 줘봐쇼 수도 간스가 열스나 되네 랑신 동신투 샘 코랑 오 랑신 매바 샘 코랑 오 랑신 동신도라 되네 남도 남바 나초바 가르스는 되네 샘랑 데단 데르스는 샘 코랑 코랑 하코토 베지 여러봐 되네 오티스 거라 남바 망가바 시도 샘 코랑 랑레 랑살테 오티 cherna 동시 망가 째야나 데스도 섬 코랑게 넘버 망가바 짬지 마체 되네 지난 그추 탐제 되네 난거요레스 하고송아 되네 렉버타네 시저 쳐버 쇼스도 단 도르나 안에 텐수 탐제 게네로 되네 셔럽 넘버제베 셔럽게 따신 제네 되네 된다메 네로 양타바 또버 쇼 송고요레 답변나 뒤균도 강한도 간데스 저게 어르세나 변나 뒤중하나도 니 냐외 그토버 쇼 송어레 시 되나 정도 다 지단계 중국의 내로부터 되게 정도 양다 버주는 거 쇼소 다티 개첨부 시다레스 되네 조디 가르스나 당부 추 탐지 샘지 나와 임바 하코야 개첨부래 니바드 샘 코라랑신 오 동바 임바드 하코 개첨부 숨바드 넘바 망가바 임바드 개첨부래 다 된당 원에 디 시그로스 아니 단데 디 맨디 디 개버탈니 시기요레스 so I think we'll stop here tonight and tomorrow, and then now these three will be explained more detail, more elaborate, and so now we'll have a short discussion.
Now Rinpoche says there's this Sutra Mahamudra, which is also called Prajna Paramita Yana, and the Tantra Mahamudra. Is it true that Sutra Mahamudra, in order to practice the Sutra Mahamudra, we do not need to go through the four foundation and the deity yoga and the Is it so?
Yes, actually, just according to Sutra Mahamudra, yes, you don't have to go through the just four foundation, but then you can still have to accumulate from 3 eons. So yes, but not deities, right? It's just try to meditate on just the state of emptiness of mind, So, but then through this practice of deities, that's why one of the profoundness of Vajrayana is, it is through the meditation of the Tantra Mahamudra, so it helps you to realize easier. And but you're right. According to Sutra, you don't have to go through this different practice of deities.
So actually, we need three eons to accomplish 3 eons.
Yes.
To accumulate the merits in order to accomplish that.
So through the Ngondo, actually 4 preliminary practice, so this helps you to accumulate very quickly. That's one of the reasons Ngondo is very profound. And otherwise, like according to Sutra, yes, you have to go through 3 eons. Of course, it's not for everybody. It depends on the people, but average is, you have to accumulate merits for 3 eons.
Through the sutra method to realize the nature of mind?
Actually, no. Actually, Mahamudra, Sutra Mahamudra is the explained by teacher, and it's motto means instruction on the mind. But still,
There is some sort of creation also.
You mean excuse?
Not excuse, projection from your mind.
Well, it depends. I'm not saying every sickness is that result of the full foundation practice, but it's possible to experience some ripening of karma. Yes, it happens.
Because the five elements of the human, and sometimes they take wrong food, so they get sick. Not because of all foundation. It's possible, isn't it?
Yes, it is possible. It is possible. Yeah.
Rinpoche, what yap means is some people, while doing full foundation or have finished full foundation, their behavior is less better than before. It means it's worse than before. They can angry easily. They can, these three poisons just arise easily, and they say it's because my purification through the full foundation, this manifests.
No, I think that's obstacle. But what I'm trying to say is that I don't think that's really possible. That's it's obstacle, which means it's you are creating to finish your foundation, because sometimes people get sick, things like that, because you have many bad karmas. That's through the result of doing the foundations, and then it purifies just by headache, many bad karmas, and that's very reasonable. Actually, we need that kind of method. So it's not really to encouraging, actually discouraging. Actually, you must encourage to do, to finish. So if somebody like she's explaining, if somebody's just that kind of notion that actually through the practice and you're having more emotionals, that's I think obstacles. It cannot be that way.
There are members halfway or just beginning. Is it due to the karma manifest or whatnot? They just cannot proceed. And they just drop off and never go back. They not go back again. Now what are we? This is what Rinpoche recommend, which is a method. They do already a certain portion. They couldn't break through. They come out. Because they coming out of this phenomenon and all, they cannot take it.
So actually you can tell from that, the profoundness of the four foundation, because just simply people cannot finish, So I think that's obstacle.
Or is it the karma? Very bad.
Heavy karma? Yes. It can be. Because, since you have a bad karma, sometimes, yes, people doesn't like to do. Yes, it happens. But, it's they just need more confidence and determination.
What do you recommend? To continue doing the foundation, they say she or he is stopped. What will Rinpoche recommend? Which way to do that? That he will perform or do some ritual or some prayer or some sadhana. Then he continue. Bring back the confidence to going good.
Well, so you're saying basically what you should do to do again? Is that one?
Yes. They stop halfway. From quarter way of beginning, they stop. They drop out.
So you can tell them they don't have to redo it again. Which they have finished, they can which they finished. And then, well, I think, somehow, this is a very funny question, because, it depends on the individual, because some people they cannot do because of their sickness and things like that. Some people, they just doesn't want to practice, there's many other reasons. So anyway, in short, in order to practice Mahamudra, it is very important to do the Ngondo practice. In fact, few times is a bit better. And so you just try to explain them. I think that's yeah.
Breakthrough.
Hmm?
Breakthrough.
Yeah.
I think last question. The people who have certain debt, like Penang, they collapse. So suddenly pass away. So they doesn't know anything, they are passing away. So on that moment, very scared, So very, very scared, and the Bardo speech, or how to understand that practice ourselves we are practicing, how to realize that we are in that stage, and how to go into Bardo and how to meditate to catch this meditation on to that stage. Understand?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the escape moment is very dangerous. On that intermediate stage.
I think it's true. Definitely, it caused some problems to experience of the the fearfulness. It definitely it harms to concentrate, because if you have it die very peacefully, then at least you can think of, if you're a practitioner, so you can think of your, especially somebody must inform that you're dying, and then you must meditate upon, like Amitabha Buddha or Guru, whatever, there's explanation. So that is very, it's very best chance. And then if you have a certain death, you wouldn't have that experience, So this will be better. But as far as the actual different experience of karma, whether you are die peacefully or die very suddenly, or any different way of dying, but still your experience of the state is same. You have to go through, and so that's why, like, if you have a good practice in this lifetime, and then these different stages Pardo, even you fail one time, and one time you will definitely, recognize, and so, it's not only just the first time, but there are many chances. So I think for the practitioners shouldn't be, so much differences. And
for those people who are not practicing,
well, even they die, without that uncertain death, and if they die peacefully, if they don't know, this will be the same, the fear will be there, of course, but as far as the actual understanding is the same, I think.
but you think the cause of their death will be rebirth in the more lower realms or something like that?
I see, your question is that.
No, the further question.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, this depends on the individual, I think, because the instant, just before you die, the moment attitude is very important. And if you have a very bad attitude, somehow reasons, fears and things like that, it can be reborn in funny like spirit, or this is possible. But I don't think everybody who died there, this would happen.
There's one more difficult point.
Mm-hmm.
At our age, when we want to pass away, we don't know when is the date, the heartbeat stops. It's difficult to realize that one.
When you die.
When we die.
Mm-hmm.
We, not I.
Right.
The heartbeat stops. We are quite sick. So we doesn't know the time of the dying.
Mm-hmm.
So if we do the forward ourselves, then we are not dead. So we do a forward and go away. How to realize this death at that time? Sometimes we go to Bado, we doesn't know we die already.
So you prefer to have a poa? No? Poa?
No, I doesn't know the time of my death. When I lay down, the heartbeat stops. I doesn't know the time of the day.
I see. 뭐랑 그랑 10에 그때 하고요 말했어요. And for that, it's very important, somebody who next to you inform, because you cannot say, everybody cannot understand that, it's not possible. Some people still, just before that, they are very clear mind, so they know what's really going on. And especially who doesn't have a fear, so they are very mind stable. So, but some people doesn't care, like especially somebody in a coma and things, it's very, cannot understand. So even though, who doesn't know, it's very important, if practitioner inform them, telling that, because we have a called Tukdam Sandip, means reminding the what stage is going through, so you have to inform them, saying now you are dying, and don't be scared. Actually there are a lot of instructions, so if practitioners, you can tell, these different experience happening, so you just must realize, don't be fear this happening, in dissolving different elements, things, and then somehow, they can, if somebody has a practitioner, can catch that. And so that's the only best way. Or unless you have a very good practitioner, then of course, before die, stand up, and then with the head.
If we are lucky,
Not, I wouldn't say it depends on the luck, but it depends on your practice. So then, you can, that's what we call tukdam, means samadhi for 3 days, or
So we just sit on meditations.
if you can.
Yeah.
If when you can't, and then somebody, it would be good there, that explaining of, then after the complete death, and then somebody must do poa quickly.
If no power, we just sit. Just sit on samadhi. That's all.
No, if you are in samadhi, it doesn't need poa. Usually, somebody in samadhi, they wouldn't do poa until they come out of samadhi, because you're not supposed to disturb anything. So first chance is samadhi, then second is poa, and third is third is then you have to try your best. Not to get lost.
Rinpoche, coming back to this Sutra Mahamudra, is Zen Buddhism, they are pointing out to the nature of mind.
Mm-hmm.
So is this considered as Sutra Mahamudra?
I think so. Yeah, it is part of Mahamudra, but but still, just my own experience of also the discussing with the other teachers, like Trungpa Rinpoche, he spent a lot of time with the Zen teachers, Japanese Zen teachers. So their way of their explanation is very, as far as our view, it's a little bit too extreme of the about emptiness part. It's expressing a lot in this emptiness, and it's hardly any kind of luminosity or clarity part of mind. It doesn't express. They just keep trying to express on the emptiness. So, this is one of the method, right? For according to the Mahamudra, it's a little bit too extreme of the expressing on the emptiness.
Ask the question. Regarding this power, is that the Lama or the Rinpoche was in front of the deceased, or they can be a distant away to perform the power?
Power can be done from distance.
Then what is the difference between the initiation? Rinpoche can be a distant away to do an initiation for certain person or not?
No. The difference is because, for the life, because still mind is within a body, so you have a fixation, and then when you die, mind is already out of body, so mind is actually, intermediate state, means it's hanging, so easy to do poor. It has a attachment, my body, so you cannot easily come out your mind out of the body, So once you die, your mind is already, out of that. And as far as the mind is concerned, whether you are practitioner or not, the very nature of mind is the Dhammakaya. So it's just a matter of whether you have realized or not. So there is any not solid, cleaning. So it's easy, especially when you died immediately. Then during the period of called first pardo, the vessel clear light experience, so that must be done.
Rinpoche, further to this question, there will be so many dates at the same time.
What?
During that period, it may be have so many dates people around.
So many?
Date people, and so many mind will be floating. Who is the one that get a power? That particular mind, say my mind, so I return Rinpoche cannot see my mind. Because then during the period, in this world, everybody will have
How can you say Rinpoche cannot see your mind?
that's the thing.
A person who can do power far away, how can the Rinpoche cannot see your mind?
That's why you have to give your name before. No, actually, yeah. But don't worry, because even when we do like poa or any Changcho puja, and then usually we are doing it for somebody in a particular who death. But it doesn't mean we try to send to the Pure Land only that person, but we try to include all sentient beings. So then, I don't think you will left out.
I'm not very clear about the difference between Sutra Mahamudra and Tantra Mahamudra.
It's same meaning, but it's different way of explaining or different way of different means, But it's not something separate, but it's not something one preparation and the other, But whether you through understanding of the sutra way of Mahamudra instruction, or through the tantra way of instruction, as far as once you have a realization, it's the same. It's it's like that. Like somebody taking this side picture and this side. It's actually whichever side, it's your face, right? What do you mean independent? Oh, same. Oh, I see. When you do practice. Oh, yes, you can do independently practice, but then you can do. But since like the Gampopa, and his very skillful way, and he brought two lineage together. So in fact, it makes you, too easier to understand from both sides. Yeah.
So Rinpoche is to continue from there. That means Sutra and Tantra Mahamudra, the difference is in the time and the method. The realization is the same.
I wouldn't say time, because it's both are, very profound. But like where we practice of this lineage, Kaiju lineage, like as I've said, this brought together two lineage, and then it makes to realize easier because from different aspect, and so that in that way it's it's more time is very very quick, means that. And but as far as the thing is that during the sutra time, actually you try to look at the mind itself directly, and then during the Vajrayana or Tantra, and then through the different examples, like I don't know whether you're familiar or not, this kind of third initiations, through that your experience of the emptiness, so it's more skillful way. And so anyway, so then we have a both lineage, so it's makes very profound. That's why known as Mahasiddhi of ocean of Mahasiddhi Kayu lineage, means there are so many siddhis.
It's Mahamudra and Mahati. What's the difference?
Its difference is very little, I think. We call like Mahati, they call it very awareness from beginning, means you're already clear. And then Mahamudra, we call it ordinary mind. We doesn't call so strongly awareness beginning, So that actually difference is that, that's why some people makes a little bit up and down, because Mahati is higher because they're already starting from the awareness, very beginning. And then Mahamudra start with from ordinary mind, which is Tibetan word is Tamal-jisheba, means ordinary mind, mind of the just now moment. And so this is the thing. But actually the method and looking into the mind, it's the same, ultimately it's the same, just that. So I think now we stop it here. So